Hey, live.
That is the one we should have done because his face went like this. Hit live, man. Oh snap!
Right.
Nah, that's the way it is. And you know what? I'm good like that.
You mad at me? You're not talking to me, but that's all right.
Oh yeah. All right, man. So we on another Friday. It's Friday. And you know what? Because we keep forgetting, people keep hitting me up and be like, yo, Pat, what's the hey, Jack? If you say, Pat, y'all not doing y'all normal stuff by telling us what you snacking on, and this is what this whole thing is about. So we coming out the gate today with whatever snacks you got.
Wow, like that?
I mean, where's your snacks at?
He's right here.
Gary, where your snack at? Gary looking around. Gary looking.
My snack is here. Water. Minus 2 pounds. Don't even try to play me, man.
What do you? If you got to do the 2 pounds, you got to do the 2 pounds. That's the way it is. And if it's water, me too, G.
Yep.
Me too.
What kind of?
Me too. Not for real.
What kind of? No, seriously. The reason why I got to do it this way because it actually tells me. You know what I mean? It's like a soup up type thing.
It tells you how many ounces you drink, and it's also for the thing
and the time of the day.
All right.
So, you know, Mike Dort said he heard that Friday night. Yeah, you got that. I hear you. Hear you. Uts. Sam Moses, what's up, Sam? I saw you join Critical Trading. Stay in it, man. Stay in it. We're gonna be doing it. We're gonna be doing it.
Carolyn Kennedy, big shout out to Carolyn Kennedy, and
of course, Carolyn Kennedy.
Always big shout out to Carolyn Kennedy.
And Florida with their new law, not to embarrass white people.
Not to embarrass white people not to embarrass white people to speak about black issues in the past.
Not to make them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, we don't want to feel uncomfortable now.
Right, because remember, when you're uncomfortable around someone, then you can shoot them and get away with
it. That's right. We hey boss, we don't want them uncomfortable around us now.
Watch yourself, Pat. Watch yourself.
Just letting you know.
Yo, so Pat, I didn't see your snack, bro.
My snack. Yeah, you're right about that. I only threw this up real quick because Gary was talking about Florida with Krista and all of them down there who they're not allowed to be embarrassed by black people.
No, it's not by black people.
They're talking about black people. You can't embarrass.
Right.
You can't embarrass whoever it is embarrassing white people.
That's what I said. Right? Did I say that right?
So white people can embarrass white people. This is the people who don't want to be embarrassed. The people who used to
So what does it mean then, G? Help me. What's the law?
I haven't even read it.
What is it? Assault? Assault? What is it? A felony, a misdemeanor?
If battery?
Embarrass somebody?
Your battery with your mouth? I don't get it, man.
Did you see the joint about the Jackie Robinson I sent y'all today?
Yo,
if we missed New York, yo, I got Cheez-Its in the house, yo.
Yo, but you got the extra toasty.
That's right, you gotta get the extra toasty. Yeah, I saw that, man.
Yo, Mike Dortch, and then somebody just texted me, "Where is the song? Please give us my song, Pat. Come on now, come on."
Start it out, go. There you go.
Here we go. What's this, Gary? Gary, what's this?
I got some in the fridge. I got it in the fridge. Yeah, I got it in the fridge.
Pat, what's this?
Concoction.
Concoction.
Here we go.
Y'all amped up today.
That's not what we're supposed to be dancing to, Pat.
I know. We're supposed to be doing it. And Gary won last week, by the way. That's what it was.
Gary won it last week.
That's what it was.
Mike said, "Thank you. We good now."
Yeah. Hey.
Yo, straight fools drive on a Jackie Robinson.
That was terrible. That was terrible, G.
It took out the whole lane.
Yeah, I saw it. With the back was jumped off.
Right, so nobody could pass.
None. No.
Chris, I want to know what kind of concoction that is. You know I got it on on how to make it, right?
You do.
Yeah, I got how to make it. I'm gonna find it right now. It's on one of my blogs.
Erica says I'm dancing.
Go ahead, Erica.
Everybody out there, just take the time out to share this with two or three people.
No, share it with everybody. We're trying to hit that century mark.
We hit it. We hit it last week.
Trying to do it again.
Hey, hold on real quick. I'm putting this out there, Joe, just for you. Want you to know, we need the recipe. This is the recipe that I'm sending to you right now with the COVID-19 concoction. All right, my mother's concoction. So just want y'all to know that that's in there. This is it right here.
Hey, Aaron Wilson, what's up? Everybody invite somebody. We just want to see something.
Yeah, I want to see this thing jump to 100 because we can see it from here. Everybody can't see it, but we can see it from here.
Right. They're just seeing a lower number wherever they are, but we're seeing everybody on there.
Right. This is YouTube. I think this time we put it on YouTube. It's on.
I didn't press it. Just
so just Graham and YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody said people out. What? Dave said people are out here drinking urine. Listen, Chris has said what we got out here is gonna make you well. I've never done this before, but Gary, let me see if I can do this. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can share. Let me see if I can share where it's at. Share screen. I'm afraid of what's on my screen.
You and Gary are talking over my song.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that. So this is it, guys. You see it? Can you hear? Pizzo, you're let's run it one more time. Sorry. Paul, you're muted. So this is a blog that I did from what mom and dad had out there. Gary, can you see it?
Yeah, just see little white lines though.
Oh man.
Just
right. See, somebody could see it. Tara Johnson said, wow, pine needles. It could either be pine needles or moringa leaves. All right, it doesn't have to be that. Let me just go through it real quick, guys. 1 cup of honey or stevia. That stevia is like that sugar, right? That fake sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Peppermint oil, cayenne, half a teaspoon of cayenne, menthol crystal.
Yo, what's the name serious about urine?
I think so. I think so.
That's crazy.
Blended garlic. Man, it's good to see you guys.
Yo, Pat, I don't think I've seen you all week, man. I haven't seen you all week.
Nah, and you know why? Because I was exposed, and I wanted to make sure that through the Christmas that I was doing better. So I got my test back yesterday. My PC something test, Gary.
PCR.
Yeah, I got my PCR test. But Gary, even Chris is saying,
my dog.
That's the new dog.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Cairo.
Like the city Cairo.
Mm-hmm.
Like you already, Paul. All these dogs like you.
It's gonna belong to me, but it's really he like Spencer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yanni said he's adorable.
He ain't gonna get no bigger.
Really?
Nah, just a little bit, and that's it. All right, Pippa. What you trying to get up? You trying to get up?
Yeah, Paul. They like you. Animals like you and Pat.
Look at Gary.
It's funny, Paul really took my place. I always had animals. Right. I just came back from the vet with mine, and we may have to.
How's he doing, man?
May have to amputate his back leg.
I don't want to hear that, man.
Hey, listen. I'm okay with it.
All right. Yo, somebody asked what breed is he? What breed is he, Papa? He's a toy poodle.
Toy poodle.
Obviously.
That's a Manhattan dog. Gary, you heard me? That's a Manhattan dog.
What's up, Wendell? It's my dog right there from Birmingham.
Yeah.
It's my dude right there.
Top notch right there.
What time sunset? Check your Siri.
Next week, I think I saw something that said in March, I think it's next couple of weeks. I think it's this week. Sunsets in New York at 5:00 this week.
At 5:00.
And it said
it goes back down, right?
And it said it will not set until 5:00 until October or November again.
Wow, that's where we are in the system with the tilt.
Yeah.
Yo, Jesus is coming, bro.
So
He way
5
on his
p.m.
way.
So tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll be here. I did a
Lovely.
thing this morning, guys, for Wilbur E. Mays.
Shout out to Jersey.
Yeah,
Northern
New
Jersey.
Jersey.
Right. What is that? First Church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First,
What
That
city is that
is
in again?
Lynette's Church, Vernell. I forgot her husband's name.
Pete, man.
Pete. Vernell, Pete. That's their church.
Yeah, that's Owen's aunt's church too. That
Right,
passed
right.
away.
But isn't
Golding.
That's the Golden's church over there too. So I
so
was
it's-
over there and I was talking. They asked me to speak about being courageous with the kids. So I had to roll this out.
Word.
Courageous Cat, and
that.
that was Gary had 2 shows as a kid. It was Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse,
Right.
and Felix the Cat.
Felix the cat. Yep. Felix the cat. The wonderful
Wonderful
cat.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Love
anybody
Felix
who's
the
in
Cat.
if you're in the show right now, anybody that's on like right now, tell us what your favorite cartoons was growing up. Just what your favorite cartoons was growing up. So Pat, what's your favorite cartoon growing up?
I'm not gonna say it's my favorite, but there's one that I even sometimes get on YouTube to check. Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Get out of here, Pat.
Really?
Well,
Casper the Friendly Ghost, man.
My kids know that my favorite cartoon is Tom and Jerry.
Oh yeah, come on.
I remember when they were kids, and I would play it. They were like, "Yo, Dad, this is a new cartoon." I was like, "This is the 60s." You kidding? 60s, man.
Alan had to put it the Smurfs. The Super Friends, the Flintstones.
Oh, Super Friends.
Yo, the Flintstones, Lynn, had adult jokes in there. And we didn't even know that.
Gary, I heard that. I thought it was a voiceover.
Can
we look through some of these real quick? So somebody said Flintstones. Alan said the Smurfs, as you guys said already. See, Hannah with me. Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yo, but I didn't know that Erica was that much like our age. I thought Erica was much younger for her to know Felix the Cat.
Paul, Erica's like 2 years younger than us.
Really?
When we came to school with Erica's brother, Brian.
Right. Okay.
She came like 2 years later.
You're right.
She's like 49, 50.
Yeah,
you just had a 50.
I forgot. I keep seeing her as one of the little girls. You know what I mean?
Mighty Mouse.
Wow.
Here I come to save the
day. Yo, why Deanna hit with the Pink Panther?
She sure did. I see it. And Krista is killing the Transformers. Y'all don't remember Battle of the Planets?
Don't talk, Pat. Come on.
One of the best.
One of the best.
Yep.
We used to run around Bethel like we were.
No. Is that Battle of the Planets?
Yeah.
Dastardly and Muttley.
Yep.
Come on, Wendell.
Dastardly and Muttley. Droopy Dog.
Who said Droopy Dog?
It was Samuel.
You know what? That makes me mad.
You're right. He said Droopy Dog.
Wait a minute. Yvette Davis didn't know that Brian and Erica were brother and sister.
Who didn't know that?
Yvette Davis.
Yeah. Erica came in with us, Paul.
Who do you mean, Erica?
Not Erica. I mean, Yvette came in with us.
Yvette came in with us and Brian.
Right. And Brian. Erica is, that's his. That's
right.
Her.
That's the brother and sister.
See, Gary, you got it. Reggie said G-Force. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Keop. The little kid was Keop.
Keop. And they used to run. What used to come on Sabbaths?
Wendell
Patrick.
Wake Up Muttley, because they treat me. I shot the sheriff. EPMD.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yoni said she ain't watched no TV till she was 13. Come on now.
Yoni, real quick, Yoni, did you go to WAU or CUC? Yoni, answer that. Did you
she from up this way. I think she's from up this way.
I think she went to CUC or WAU, one of the school. She came in 90. That's right, Pat.
Came in 90, 2 years later.
Thundercats.
Yep, I remember that. Listen,
Yo,
Chris said Bugs Bunny was raunchy.
he was, man. He was.
Oh wow,
That
wow.
dude was raunchy. Oh,
She
you
said,
only went to
"Oh,
Brooklyn
she's from
College?
Brooklyn." She said she didn't go to Adventist school. She went to Brooklyn College.
Oh, okay. I
She
thought I
live
saw.
up this way now, though. I think she lived like in the rich area. I don't know, White Marsh or some area like that.
I see.
Something like that.
I
Oh,
see. I see.
when it said Gem and the Hologram, I never heard of that. Paul, you ever
Yeah,
heard of Gem and the Hologram?
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Jam, you're truly outrageous.
Just
Truly
okay,
outrageous.
okay. All right, okay. She said she in Linthicum
Linthicum
Heights.
Heights. Where is
Mhm.
that?
Mm. Gary,
Yo,
my
yo,
man
look,
Roberto Sack. He
can't
said, I
remember.
came in here for inspiration. Y'all up here talking about
Yo,
Thundercats.
I'm not saying it because he's on. That's a talented brother right there, boy.
Listen, Paul,
That's a
this is
talented
the
brother
real
right
truth.
there. That's a talented brother.
Your girl called, text me one night. It was late. Want me to pray for her. She can't sleep.
Mm.
He did an album for me. We did it together, but I produced the album. He wrote it. We wrote a sleep album. Anybody who listens to the sleep album, you hear me, Peace?
I'm hearing you.
Get sleep.
They're going to sleep. Ali said, "Don't listen to it while you're driving. You're gonna go to sleep." So he did. We did about 10 hymns. Let me tell you what the album is called that we did. It's called "Sleep with Him." Sleep
got it.
with HYMN. Check
Mhm.
on your Apple and all your check your
Put it
Spotify.
up.
It's on there.
Put it up. Put it up.
It's on there. It's on there. Somebody put it up. If you find it, put it up on there. It's
slow down.
sleepwithhim.com.
Auntie Hazel.
Big shout out to Aunt Hazel and Uncle Franz.
Yeah. Everybody know that's it's our auntie. Paul, let's make sure at the end of this we say a prayer for him.
Yeah, for those who may not know, our uncle is not doing so well right now.
Right.
So I called the other day and I spoke with him, but he's always on our show each week, and our auntie is always on from Jamaica. So I want to say a special prayer for our Uncle France, the coolest man this side of the Western Hemisphere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Coolest man.
Coolest dude. Paul, let's not forget to pray for him before we go out.
No, definitely.
That's important to us. Important. That's our man. They've been with us since we began. This is our 70th episode, y'all.
They've been us with from the first episode.
They've been with us from the first episode. Uncle, remember, we used to start off by saying, "Hey, auntie."
That's right.
You should start off by saying, "Hey, auntie." Anytime you say, "Hey, fellas," we say, "Hey, auntie," like we're in the Black Panther. Remember? That's the line. That's the line.
So y'all,
everybody. So Carolyn caught it. Carolyn got it. Open Spotify. Thank you, Carolyn. It's him, HYMN. If you listen to it at night, you're gonna go to sleep. And as they say, don't drive with it. Now, I'll be honest with you. There is a low tone behind there that we
I'm saying to them, man. Let them pass out.
Listen and pass out. You got it. Just go ahead and listen to it and pass out.
The man again, Roberto. He is.
Man. They don't call him Roberto, I said we just see his name is Roberto. We call him a name. What's his nickname that we call him? Anybody remember what we call Roberto?
Money.
No, not money. Not money. Somebody's gonna put it in there because it's off my tongue right now.
Loot.
He's Roby. That's what his name is.
Roby.
Thanks, Lynn.
His name is Dollar.
His name is Roby. All right, y'all. We here, and please let's not forget to pray. Please, everybody, please pray for my uncle. His name is Uncle Franz. Please pray for him. Roby. That's his name. All right.
So listen.
And pray for him too. He's working on his doctorate in, I think, in orchestration or something. He almost done.
So, somebody sent this video to Wendy.
Yeah.
Gary, I tell you, man, when you sent it to Wendy, and then Wendy sent it to me. And when I looked at it, I said, only Paul, okay, music education.
Yeah.
I would get in trouble like this because when I pastored, I would just get up and say, okay, so-and-so come up and sing.
Yeah.
If you want to sing a song, come up and sing. Gary, I need you to see this. This guy gets up, right? in church. And I don't know if he's the pastor or the elder, but he said, yo, he sang in the kitchen.
I had a little problem. I listened to it. I had a little problem with that. Before we begin, do you really have to listen to what he has to? You could just tell him, no, we don't have space for you to sing right now. Why would you? Why does he have to rehearse in the kitchen first before he come out?
Yo, P, my man gave him a 649 because if he sang in the kitchen and he sang there before at the church.
Oh, that's what
Right.
I said. Yes.
Okay. Right. He sang at the church before, and then he sang for him in the kitchen. So if you sing for me in the kitchen, be like, yo, man, that's a nice hymn, bro. And you
so
sang
he came out and
before,
did something different.
this is sister so-and-so's son who come. So you want him to be a part of the church. My dude gets up there. I don't know what's what, but play the
Ready?
real. P.
Let's go. Let's go.
Play
Let's
the
go.
real. Play the
All
real.
right, play the real. Let's play the real. Let's go.
In Jesus' name.
All right. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Thank you. We have Gary.
Tonks.
This is Mother. Huh? Gary, yes. Mother Green's son and the Misha brother.
Mother Green's
He's
son.
here with us this morning.
Yo, look at the date in the back.
Song. So I took
What
it
it says.
That's just
recent.
that's just the other day. It's recent.
It's about love.
It's about love,
Wait.
Gary.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
hold on.
well, he
Let
has
me
the
see
mask
back.
on first of all, so you know it's
Mother Green's
recent.
son and the Misha brother. And he's here with us this morning. He said he would like to sing a song. I took him in the kitchen
I took him in the kitchen.
to hear the song. It's about love. All right. And so I want to give him the opportunity to sing about love.
This must be in Florida.
Right? He visited us before. He's back again another time.
See, that's the other vetting. He's been there before.
This house is
Pat,
called
put us up.
prayer. All.
It's for all people, Gary.
So, all right.
All right. Rest.
Rest.
Kings of kings and lords of lords.
Right there, you know it's trouble. Right there, you know it's trouble.
What you say, Gary?
Right there, when anybody go up in front of anybody and they say kings of kings and lords of lords, that's trouble right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And listen, you have to hear him telling him this is a place for all people.
Go, go.
Okay. I'm running it.
All right. Rest.
Rest.
Kings of kings and lords of lords. And every child of Judah. Let
up.
God rule us all. All right. Good. Saying. I am a blessed man. I am a blessed man. I walk with my hand. I am a blessed man. I am a blessed man.
Like,
I
that's not the
walk
song.
with my foot. I am a blessed man. I am a blessed man. I walk with my eye. I am a blessed man. I am a blessed man. I walk with my head. Me a not a dread, me no. Ballad Joe. And not a dread, me no. Ballad me a not a dread Joe. A ballad. All right. You want some Christian song? You want some religious? All right. Christmas time, it's a Christmas time. Me sing Christmas time, it's a Christmas. Oh God, you know want Christmas either. All right. Wow. Let me go on. We chop up on that one now. Yo. Jesus love me, this I know. From my foot to my toe. Say, Jesus love me, this I know. From my toe to my toe, from my foot to my toe. Jesus love me, this I know. From my foot, bang, and my toe. Me say, Jesus love. Ayo, read him. Jesus love me, say Jesus love me, say. From my head, me say from my toe, me say Jesus love me, say. Read him. Bass and drum and thing, man. Jesus love me, say Jesus know me, say from my head, me say from my toe, me say Jesus love me, say Jesus know me, say from my head, me say from my toe, me say. All right, come, go on. One more. All right, come. Hey, come. JJ, go on with it. Jesus love me, say Jesus know me, say from my head, me say from my toe, me say Jesus love me, say Jesus love. All right, yeah, Jesus love me.
Back up.
Jesus love me.
Back up before me box you.
Yo,
we're gonna send him down to Jimmy Gibson's church in New Orleans down there.
Yes, that's
down
what we
in
need to
Louisiana.
do. That's what we need to do.
Yo, what kind of foolish from when you hear my man says, Lion of Judah. Trouble. Right there,
Yo.
bro.
When he said, "Rid him," in other words, you gotta keep up with me.
Yep.
You think the mother was embarrassed?
Of course.
Yeah, if the mother was embarrassed, come on, man. Come on.
I'm embarrassed, Gary. I'm embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the sad thing is that they think that's how all Jamaicans are. I bet you everybody who know that we're Jamaican, they all think that we probably have a hat like that in our house, and we don't have it.
How we ever had like that? None of us look. All of us bald. Only
Well,
you.
I'm just trying to say that's how ignorant people is. I bet you
Mm.
somebody gonna do and say, "Yo, I know the Grams got a reggae hat in their house someplace."
I ain't got no reggae hat in my house.
Not yet.
My man said, "Back up." Back
Yo,
up.
when he got him,
Wait, but he put the backhand. Very Jamaican.
Back up.
Ooh, Gary. Jimmy said Jesus on the donkey is a classic now.
Oh yes, it is.
Man, that no nothing to this.
Oh my goodness.
Kings of Kings and anyhow you hear anybody say Kings of Kings and
Lords of Lords. That's it, Gary. You're right.
Just bow down.
You're right
there.
You're right.
There's
You're right.
trouble's coming.
Yo, listen, can we run somewhere and come right back? We got the coalition. What do you call it?
Cotillion.
Patrick
Cotillion. Coalition. I don't even know.
Were you fighting a war?
Well, you know what? Hold up. The
Hey,
Grams has never been a cotillion. Nobody ever asked me to dance or take their daughter to the cotillion.
Yep.
But here's a funny thing: everybody asking us to help with the cotillion now.
I be paying into it.
Me too. I
Me
pay
too.
all the time.
Me, it's worse than graduation.
I put
pay
mine.
all the
I
time.
put a cotillion in.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna tell y'all something now. This is gonna sound foul. If your kids don't say nothing to me at church, don't expect no graduation present from me. If I come to church each Sabbath and nobody say, "Hey, Brother Graham, how you doing?" Even to fake it, you know what I mean? Then you're gonna come around graduation. You're gonna try to slip me a card or whatever. You ain't getting no money.
Jackie said coalition. Yeah, the coalition. You only say I agree, Gary. You don't say nothing to me.
You say nothing to me on the, "Hey, Brother Graham, how you doing? I like your shoes," or what have you. You know what I mean?
You're gonna get a feather. You're gonna give him a back with a feather
because
and
before you get
a pen set. Give him a pen set.
When kids are born, you remember how people look out for us or whatever. You go over to sister so and so, you give them a hug or whatever. That's all they asking for.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I got a special one at Ephesus. He can't do no wrong.
Everybody got something like that.
Right. So I look out for them. Then graduation come and they say, "Oh, this is whatever." You ain't getting nothing back.
Is that Michelle Jefferson from CPC?
I don't know. I don't know. Wait,
Michelle Jefferson from CPC.
And she said this is not foul, Gary. That you're not foul. If you don't talk to me, you ain't getting no graduation. Nothing.
Charito said, "Yeah, she agreed."
Yo, before we bring on our guests, right? I remember Michelle Jefferson when Pastor Wright was pastoring at CPC. This young lady, had that place in order.
She can sing?
No, I'm not talking about singing.
Oh, she's like
down to the minute. Everything was done down to the minute. She had these little headphones on. Everything was. That's where I remember her from CPC. I wonder if she married. Let me see if I can hook her up with somebody.
Yo, leave her alone. Don't bother.
Leave her alone. MJ, don't listen to Paul.
Yeah, don't listen to Paul. Don't listen to Point. Listen, really quick.
All right,
because I know she has to go back to work. She's working right now. And everybody, I want you to know that I have her on the show today because she is my daughter away from my other daughter. She was supposed to be working for me, but there's a what do you call it? The pandemic is going on. I love her to death, so I want everybody to help in her coalition.
Cotillion, bro. You're truly Jamaican. Truly Jamaican.
How Jamaican say alumni?
Alumni. Like aluminum.
Yo, but Carlise, I'm gonna be honest with you, Pat. She's a she's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah,
she's a force to be reckoned with. She's young but not young-minded.
I'll shoot somebody over her.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna see what brother trying to hang with her.
Nobody.
Yo,
she's not dating, and she's not gonna date until she finished college. That's it.
All right, Pat. I don't
want to hear any more.
Calm down with that, man. You're gonna be very disappointed.
That's
No.
right.
Because if the mini Michael B. Jordan rolls up on her before college is over,
She's gonna be
that's
like,
she's gonna be like, sorry,
I already
brother
talked to
Pat.
my Jesus. I already talked to my Jesus. I already talked to my Jesus.
Come on, Devin Franklin.
Yeah,
Stop that.
Gary,
Stop
you're
that.
wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I'm bringing her up real quick, guys, so we can
bring her up,
continue.
bring her up, bring her up,
Bring her up real quick. Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
Hey,
Oh,
she sound like she
where is it that you're working? What's
Panda Express.
Panda Express, that's where I work.
that's Waldorf or which
I'm
area?
sorry. Huh?
Which area?
Oh, Brandywine, down near Waldorf.
That's right.
All right. So guys, we got to make a trip down there, Gary, when you come up here and you pass by the stuff that you already have to do down here. We're gonna go down there.
Yeah. Hey, listen, stop that right now.
I didn't say
Gary.
Stop that right now.
I know
Stop that
I want
right
everyone
now.
to know this is a personal joke between the three of us. Gary, be quiet and let Pat speak. I'm with you, Pat.
Thank you.
Yo,
I really appreciate that. So, baby, tell us really quick. Tell us what you're doing for the coalition.
The cotillion?
For the cotillion, babe. Come on, tell us. Come on, give it. You're on an elevator, and you got a bunch of people who are on the elevator, and you need to leave out with some money. Let's go. This is
Right
it.
now, I'm trying to raise money for my college donation. The actual event is April 10th, and I have to do this big dance. I want to say it's kind of like a fancy GoFundMe, but yeah, I have to do this big dance, present myself, an escort, and all of that. But it's for my college fund.
Got you. You got an escort already?
Yes, I do.
Is he cute?
Who is he?
He cute?
It's Kenton.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Good
nice.
man. He's a good man.
I don't care about good. I don't care about
She
good
said that
men.
kind of
We talked
proudly,
about
son.
before.
Oh,
No, Pat,
Said
he's a
that kind
good
of
man.
proudly, son.
He's a good man.
What you say,
I'm gonna
Gary?
tell you this: Mitchell raised good boys. I'm trying to tell you right now.
Keenan's at college, so I decided to use his little brother.
She had an option. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about it, but tell us how we could raise money. Come on. Tell me how we could raise.
How much money am I raising?
It's a website where everybody could give to because Gary, Paul, myself, we're giving, right, guys?
There is a website. My mom said she was on here, so I don't know if she's gonna drop
She'll
it.
put it up. She'll put it up, and we'll push it.
So yeah.
We're talking to you, not your mother, okay? Because your mother will take over the show.
Sorry.
Your mother will
So
take
sorry.
No, Mom, put it in there. Do you have an amount that you're trying to raise?
You see what she said? Escorts are not boyfriends.
My sponsor, she wants to raise $40,000 so I can have my first year of college paid for. All the colleges I've been accepted to are about like 38,000. So she wants to raise 40,000.
Awesome.
You know, Patrick is if you go to Oakwood, Pat would take you in as his daughter. You go for 75% off.
I do not want to go to Oakwood. Sorry to disappoint you. So sorry.
It's okay.
She said since she was a freshman, Pat, I've been trying to get her to go to Oakwood.
Yeah, well,
And
she got a mind. She got a mind of her own. Name the top two that you want to go to.
Top two, Delaware State or Morgan State.
Wow.
HBCU. Okay.
Yes, and that's I want to go to an HBCU. So.
Now I know that
Not only that though, she's close to home.
that's true. That was Genovia's first choice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Genovia's first choice was Delaware State, hands down. For
yes.
And if she chose that, I'd have worked doubly hard to make sure she was there, for sure. Morgan State, I like our peoples that are already there. You know, okay, I like our peoples who are already there from Tacoma Academy, but great school, great school. We got a lot of people. Dorian Patrick was from there. Theodore Thorpe was from there. You got who just wrote the book? Lynette Wesley.
Yep.
Morgan State. All from Morgan State. So.
And let me say, Adventist churches all around the area. She can't escape, so it doesn't matter. Even in Delaware, she can't escape.
I'm not. I'll always be at church.
That's
always.
it. There we go. And so she's going for 40,000. Gary, we all got to put in. Your mom already put it in the chat, and we'll keep pushing it. Okay.
Okay. So is there a link? Is there a link?
Yeah, she put the link in. in.
Okay, here we go. It is
El Elegance Coalition.
Patrick, please.
L'Elegance.
Gary, please help us. Gary. Please help us.
I just know what it is, and I just put it in and look for the name.
That's
all
it.
right.
Everybody,
So
look for the
I'm
name.
gonna ask
Carlise.
Patrick. I'm asking Patrick Graham right now. Pat, what are you putting in?
What's the highest sponsorship on there?
Stop right there. It's like 500.
Yeah, 5. If you want to have a page donated to me, like
Hey,
say
I'm
what you want to
I'm
say to
PG
me,
too.
it's 500.
I'm PG too.
She
I'm
know who
PG
PG
also.
is. She know who PG is. Come
Both
here, sweetheart.
PGs, you collectively together. If you both want to say something to me, the page is 500.
The page is 500. You got it. Graham Snacks. Can we do 500 for a page for her?
Mm-hmm.
She said, She answered for us.
She answered for us.
I think that if we did that, because
I say, yes.
mom and dad are big time givers for education. So we would definitely. I'm gonna tell you, Pat, before I put my money in, before you put your money in, whatever, let's go to mom and dad
first and ask them for it. It's fine.
Absolutely.
Listen,
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter, sweetheart. You know you're gonna get it from me, so it doesn't matter. All right,
Yes.
baby. We got
Bye.
you. All right, listen. Wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. What's the number one over there? Is there such thing as a number one over there?
What's the question?
The number one over there at Panda Express.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, sure.
She just P.
But you know when you get paid though.
Yeah.
I get paid next week. I do know when I get paid though. I do know when I get paid. Yes.
Cherise said $500 gets a full page and can do a dedication or we can do it advertise a snack time.
Sounds
We're
good.
going to do it. That's what we're going to do.
That's what we do.
That's what we're going to do.
And April 10th is the date, correct?
Yes, that's the date.
April 10th.
That's
and when
go.
does everything have to be in? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Just let us know. And
we're so proud of you.
I am proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work.
You know, there's a guy that I'm trying to hook your mom up with.
No. Listen.
I can't. Thank
like
you
you said,
guys.
no escorts, but no boyfriend. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I'm focusing on school right now. So.
That's right, baby. That's the way to do it. Love you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Love
Bye.
you, baby. Bye-bye. That's my darling right there.
Let's make sure we get that page in.
Yeah, we'll get the page in. There's no problem. We'll get the page in.
And
everybody, you saw it just now. It's www.lelegance or whatever.org. It's her coalition. And we make sure we just give to her. All right, everybody. Make sure we give to her.
James said that the number one is Thai chicken with egg noodles and cookies.
Egg noodles and cookies. You got it. That's my sweetheart. She took a break while she was working to come on. And I wanted to push it. Guys, thanks for allowing her to come on. You know the deal.
She's an amazing young lady.
She is. Yo, 1 second. I know that we were running this
Jesus
thing.
Love me, this I know.
I know we were running this thing with Moses.
Yeah.
I know we were running that. I got something for y'all. I ain't tell you about it, but you ready for it?
All right.
I got something for you. Are you ready for it?
Okay. This is our new spot, our clips.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but y'all, you don't know what I'm about to put up. So here we go. You ready?
Right.
Yo, is this a surprise, Pat?
Yeah, just try to follow it. I know you're good at this, so just follow me or follow it. Are you ready, guys? That's all I'm asking.
All right, go ahead.
All right, here we go. Uh-oh, did I mess this up? I think I took Gary out. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Gary, what your boys know?
What I'm gonna do about Sophia?
Hit her.
Beat her.
Hit her.
Beat her.
Oh, right. Beat her.
Beat her.
See, man, you're going to get some domestic
No.
violence.
We do not subscribe to this.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shoot. That's Natalie, Pat.
Nope.
That ain't Natalie?
No, sir.
You told Harpo to beat
me.
It was that mule, Paul. Old Joey.
Old Joey
the mule. I tell you, I was out there trying to plow the Northfield, and the mule just went crazy.
Old Joey.
And Bucky hit me right there. Bust my eye, bust my lip. All my life I had to fight. I had to fight my daddy. I had to fight my uncles. I had to fight my brothers. Girl, child ain't safe in the family midst. But I ain't never thought I had to fight in my own house. I love Harpo. God knows I do. But I kill him dead. Let him beat me. And that's a hoof print. Did you look at the hoof print, that Paul?
No, that looked like a Gary. Look at Patrick.
No, sir. They
Look
don't
at
fit that
Patrick.
my face. No, sir. Now, you want a dead son-in-law, Miss Seeley?
Mm-hmm.
You keep on advising him like you doing.
He said that looked like a hoof print.
Oh, sir.
Listen.
Heaven lasts always. Girl, you ought to bash Mr. Head open and think about heaven later.
Jeez.
Yep. Better believe that,
Right.
boy. Can you
Pat,
believe
that-
it?
that's a good one right there.
Yeah. That's one of the one of the good ones.
My favorite part is the yay. Which is
he fixing to shave, mister.
Fixing to shave, mister.
We're silly. She fixing to shave, mister.
Oh God.
Color Purple, baby. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. All right.
When was the first time you saw Color Purple? Good question.
The first time I've seen it, 87
on VHS.
I went to the movies to see it.
Did you really?
Yeah, but you know, Gary, if you got to remember, Gary, that's the first gift you gave me when I went to Oakwood.
I gave you the soundtrack.
You gave me the soundtrack.
That's
Well,
right.
you know, a lot of people don't know we're soundtrack.
Right. Soundtrack
people.
family. Yeah.
I gave Wendell Timothy the soundtrack to Batman.
Yep. I know that. I know that. And that's that soundtrack had Prince on it.
No.
No.
Pat, let's make a difference. Soundtrack had Prince, but I gave Wendell the score.
The score. That's it. I'm sorry. There's a difference between the score and a difference between the soundtrack. You're right about that. You're right about that.
The book was better than the movie.
That's what they say.
Right.
So
Can you hear it, Pat? Can you hear it?
Yeah, you hear it better. We don't hear it. We only hear little.
So they were nominated for 11 Academy Awards and they won none.
That's right. That's right. You sure right about that. And the one thing about that a soundtrack that Quincy Jones made that soundtrack. You ready for this? He wrote that soundtrack in less than a week.
Really? But here's something.
Not the soundtrack. I'm sorry.
That movie
he wrote the
comes
score
on
in less than a week.
Score in less than a week. But
The
remember,
two-
what's the name wrote the soundtrack for Batman in 2 weeks? Prince.
He probably had a whole bunch of them
in his catalog, pulling out.
So you talk about Purple. If you want to see any Sunday, you're either going to see The Color Purple or Purple Rain. Now Purple Rain is one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
Ever.
Yes.
That's another one you could play some clips to.
Purple Rain has a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, but, Gary, can you imagine that it won nothing? And think about who the director was.
Spielberg.
Even Spielberg.
Remember, he's a Jew.
Yeah.
And did a movie for Alice Walker.
That's right. The book Alice Walker wrote the book.
Okay. It's
very good.
It's the same thing why they had to do him right when he did the one on Schindler's List.
Yeah, but Hollywood, it's a lot of words. At the end of the day, it's about money and how much money you make.
You can't listen to Chris. Chris is a Prince fan. Like, she's a dead head Prince fan.
But you're right. I mean, let me ask you all a question now. Let's switch up. What you watching now?
I just finished watching True Stories.
I haven't watched a movie in a long time. I'm waiting to watch the next Bond, the last Bond film.
The last one that just passed?
Yeah.
You're gonna love it. You might cry. You might cry.
And then I hear now that the producers are really now talking about Idris.
I saw it.
The next Bond.
Yeah.
What's the name? Say Color Purple won awards. No, they didn't.
Not maybe other awards, but not Academy Awards.
Not Academy
Awards.
Right. So
they were nominated how many times? 11 times, right?
Right. Yeah.
I think Jimmy said that Out of Africa won all of the awards that year.
Sometimes that's how the sweep goes. It's like that with music too. Yeah, I remember the year that what's my girl's name? from out of the Fugees. Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill. She won 6, I think.
She walked away with like 6 that year. You know, so it really, it's all political. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, you know, I was a voter when I was in the music industry for the Academy Awards.
Okay.
And, you know, and I was also a voter for the
You mean
Dove
for the
Awards.
Grammys? You mean for the Grammys, Gary?
No. Yeah, the Grammys. I
Grammys,
was a
right,
voter
right.
for the Grammys,
Right.
and I was a voter for
The Dove Awards.
the Dove Awards
Mhm.
a long time ago. So, you know, I know we don't talk about it. So when a lot of people talking all this kind of stuff, you sit there, it's just like, okay, you know, you could actually be rich poor. You know, your names could be on the billboards and what have you, like, you know, total.
Oh, I agree.
You know, your music is being played and you're not getting
I agree.
the money because you do not have the publishing
Right.
for it.
Right.
So you got to wait for that check to come every 3 months to come through that. And they actually have people that count each time the song is played. So
Right.
anytime you see somebody goes poor in the entertainment industry, they brought that on themselves. Athletes too.
Because they're not a part of what they're doing. Is that they're not a part of the publishing. They're not all they're really doing is performing.
Well, athletes also.
So
Athletes also. It's
so-
still. I'm sorry. Did you hear the story about what's my boy Gary from LSU? Shaq. Shaq
Mhm.
comes out of school. I mean, comes out to play NBA in his first year. He buys like a Mercedes
for his dad and himself,
for himself first. Comes home with it. His father says, "Yo, where's mine?" He's like, "Oh, no problem." He goes back and buys one for his father. Then he goes by and buy one for his mother. And I guess the person that puts out the money or whatever says, "Yo, from the bank said, do you recognize that you just spent so and so money?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I need to have a conversation with you." And from then on, he had his money set in certain places. Somebody from the bank was like, don't do that. Are you kidding me?" You know. And there was another time he goes to Walmart. He spends $170-something thousand in Walmart.
Yeah, I heard that story.
Like
no,
that.
he has the record for buying the most goods in Walmart in a day.
In a day, right?
But
But that wasn't it wasn't foolish spending. That wasn't foolish spending. He was doing something. Am I correct?
Well,
Gary?
you know, there are different ways when an athlete moves from city to city. You understand? So when you're an athlete, so when I was working here and Glenn Rice got traded to the Knicks, you know, me and him became friends for a little while. They put him up in a hotel.
Oh, I remember.
The Knicks put him up in a hotel until they find a house. And a lot of these record industries and a lot of these let's put it in this way, like I know
They
for a fact,
forward you. They forward you.
like Northeastern Conference has a couple of houses here in Long Island, and then if you move from a certain place, they put you in that house. You understand? So if you a business that does that, you know, it's wise to have certain properties, you know, in Manhattan, because the Knicks practice, for those who know New York, in purchase. So for those of us who know that I live in the Bronx or what have you, Purchase is 45 minutes away.
Right.
You play at Madison Square Garden, but you practice at
So, right.
Purchase.
Sure.
So since I do exercise and I hang out there a lot, I was able to see them. And when I was at the hotel and when the Rangers played at Rye, that's how I met all of them. They get a contract and they stay there
Right. Right.
for a little while.
And that's one. And my understanding, going back to Shaq, I see Wendy put it in there, is that Shaq had moved and he furnished the house.
Right.
Out of there and spent all the money different, right, and spent money there.
Well,
but
it's no different, Pat, that that New York is our, and I explained this to Tony, that New York was our hometown, right? So imagine and we went to Huntsville. Let's say we played for Huntsville
Stars.
So Huntsville Stars, or you know, our work was to play with Huntsville. But our home, you know, on the back of the baseball card, they'll say Patrick Graham, Brooklyn, New York, plays for Huntsville Stars, and you're there for half of the year, and you travel for half of the year. For some people travel, there's 365 days a year. Some people travel for more than half the year.
Sure, right.
So that is their life. And
Listen, I mean, people do, Gary. People do it, not just athletic people. A lot of people do it who are even businesses.
People.
Yeah, they work a quarter of the year in one place, another quarter of the year in another place, and you know.
After the cold licked me this morning at 16 degrees, I'm telling you right now,
it's cold.
I was talking to Brandon, man. The only reason I would have moved to San Diego is because it's on the West Coast.
Right.
So you live a different life when you live on the West Coast.
Gee, I already told you when I went to California. I've been to California like 3 times. It's almost like the sun comes up different than anywhere else. It's the most beautiful place that I've ever been. I don't care.
Me and Gary went out there. Me and Gary went to PUC, and there's one I went with Gary. One of them I took your son, Pat. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
I took Gary with me one year, and I took Jordan. And Jordan was really thinking about it, going to PUC. But you're right, Patrick. Like the sun come up differently over there.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful out there. It's beautiful. I just don't know.
I don't know what's more beautiful is. I'm sorry. I don't know what's more beautiful, because PUC is by Napa.
It's in Napa Valley.
It's in Napa.
It's in that. I'm trying to tell you that place, and so that area, you kind of get the warmth in the night day, and in the evening, you get the cool.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, Jimmy's right. That's by the Bay Area.
Right. And by the way, that's go ahead.
But I think pound for pound, San Diego, not Los Angeles, San Diego.
Okay.
Got to be like one of the most beautiful places.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, San Francisco is nice too, G.
That's where I like
San Francisco.
Well, that's the Bay Area, Pat. Please.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's nice.
Right. It's nice out there. Yeah. You know what's great about New York City or New York State, about the Northeast. A lot of people knock on it, but you get your 4th season, and it's beautiful up here, especially around the fall.
Absolutely.
Around the fall. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I love New York, but I can tell you this: I'm very much. I feel like I'm furthest north in the South. That's how I feel being in Maryland.
The furthest north of it. Yes, I get it.
That's how I feel. I mean, that's the mentality that.
But you know, Pat, the truth of the matter is, this is the Mason-Dixon line.
Well, it's a little bit up further.
It's a little lower than that.
Right. Yeah.
Mason. Look it up. So we could be. Let's look. I
think the Mason-Dixon line is. I think it runs through up almost by Pennsylvania. Hold on.
Lower than that.
You think so?
Yeah. The Mason-Dixon line is off. It's Pennsylvania. It's Pennsylvania and not Virginia. Pennsylvania and Maryland.
Yeah.
It's what it is. Because if you, I'm not trying to be funny, but if you're a slave running away, you want to get to Delaware, Chief.
Pat, what it says?
Well, I'm looking at the picture of it. Let me share it with you real quick. This is the picture of it. The Mason-Dixon line, just real quick, so you could see.
Oh, right above you guys, right there.
Right, that's right. Is the Mason-Dixon line. So up more Pennsylvania. See, the reason why I said it's up more, because if you look at it, you know, anytime we go to New York, we go more to the east. Right. You see what I'm saying? We go more northeast.
Right.
So when you see that Mason-Dixon line, and you're looking at Maryland, that's the Sojourner Truth. What's her name again? With the Underground Railroad. Who's that?
We're looking bad now on our history.
We're really looking bad.
It's not Sojourner Truth. It's not Sojourner Truth.
It's not Sojourner Truth. What's her name? Come on, everybody.
Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman came through Route 5.
That's right.
Exactly. On Branch Avenue. So she came through up St. Mary's Way, St. Charles, St. Mary's Way, went up through York, Virginia. You see what I'm saying?
And got to remember, Pat,
York, Pennsylvania. Right. And right through York, Pennsylvania, and then up to Pine Forge area.
That's right.
That's one of the stops, Pine Forge.
And you got to remember, when your boy was killed, what's his name again? When Lincoln was killed, the person that killed him, John Wilkes Booth, had now I'm going to use the word right, had a coalition that was meeting out in Waldorf because he's trying to free that whole area right there.
Right.
You see where I'm coming from? Well, he did already, So they're upset because they got nobody working fields. They got nobody doing. Bowie is now you're free. You got Bowie Bowie State University. That has happened just because of the decision that he has made. So now she doesn't have to work that area to free people because it's now free. Right at the Waldorf line over up there. You see where I'm coming from? Because remember, that's where they found him. That's where they caught him. They caught him going to Waldorf.
Philip said that he was shot in Brandywine.
That's right.
Right up here.
Brandywine is that's Phil's part of the country.
That's right. But remember, he was on his way up to Waldorf.
You didn't hear Sharice, that's where she working. See the same Brandywine area, Waldorf, Brandywine area, the same spot. That's where what's her name? That's where Harriet Tubman came through. Right. Remember, Gary, how you take 83 to go up to York? Yeah. And you go down, I think 30. That's her route to freeing the slaves.
That's right.
Really?
Yes.
That's right. And look how difficult it is, Gary. Think about if you're where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Slaves were brought in to Annapolis right here.
Yeah, but not during that time.
Annapolis is
I'm not saying during that time.
Right, but it was.
But think of how thick Maryland was, because Maryland was a strong port, right?
Right.
Okay. So even Kunta Kinte,
that's what they say,
right, was brought here from was on Annapolis, and where does he end up? Right there across from like you go into
right before you get to Williamsburg.
Pat, before that, bro, you're still on 495 and you're on 95 and you pass what's the big structure of the Navy place or the Army base?
Yeah, the Quantico.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. After
FBI,
Quantico,
FBI.
The FBI spot after Quantico is where the plantation is. So it's before Williamsburg and after a place called
Spotsylvania County.
Spotsylvania County.
That's Spotsylvania County.
Because after Spotsylvania County comes Richmond, Virginia area,
right,
which is Richmond, Virginia, then turned down.
So remember, Gary, he was just right here.
Yeah,
he was sold right here. So it's just that Mason-Dixon line, Pat. When we were talking about the weather, right, Gary? That Mason-Dixon line, it makes a big difference because if it snow down here, bro, everything stops. If it's snow in Delaware, you're going to work.
So here's the thing. Imagine now, I'm switching up, okay? Education. Imagine now if you fixed up Pine Forge area, because they still have the place where they kept them. You hear what I say, guys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They still have the house that they left them, where they went from there. And remember, they moved from Pennsylvania to Canada.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Could you imagine if Pine Forge set up a little spot, even if you have to remake it, so that they could see what it was like? People see what it's like. Pine Forge will have to lower its tuition with the amount of people that will come through there in February alone.
I think that what I would like for Pine Forge, even though none of us are alumni, is that what Oakwood is to many, you too, okay. What Oakwood is to a lot of people, I would love to see Pine Forge to a lot of young Adventists, even if they have to fly into Philadelphia and come there to make it national.
Finish your statement. I missed something then. What you'd like to see?
No, I would like to see Pine Forge become more of a national blackboarding academy.
Oh yeah,
there are blackboarding academies. I was surprised. Yeah. I have some young people on my caseloads. They have some in Tennessee. They have it in Vermont. But I would love to see a national rollout because it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Listen,
no, I'm not saying it because I work up there, but let me tell you something. If that ain't Jesus country, I don't know what it is.
Really, it's really like that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Almost 600 acres.
Yeah.
It's an amazing place.
It's flat out beautiful out there.
It is.
But there's other places that Adventist owns. I was looking in the Pacific Press. They're hiring people there now, and they're in Idaho. And the way they described one of the selling points is how beautiful the area is around the Pacific Press. And then you went to Gillette, and there's beautiful
Gillette,
places.
Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I felt like, I mean, if you want to know, when we were living in Michigan, we all went to Andrews. When we were living in Michigan, that's what you call Middle America.
Yes. Absolutely.
Right? That's Middle America. So when you hear New Yorkers or East Coast people talk, and you hear people talk about Middle America, that was true Middle America. People don't know this, but down the block from Andrews University is where Muhammad Ali lived.
Yep, sure did.
And he bought that property from Al Capone.
Right.
Or Al Capone used to live there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Michael
Jordan wanted to buy the house.
Wanted to buy the property,
and he came in on boat from.
That's the key. You don't have to drive. Right.
From Chicago. They came in from boat.
That's right. You don't have to drive from Chicago, come down 94 to get to Barron Springs, Michigan.
Take a boat.
Take a boat and come up to St. Joe River, I think it is. It was
Michael Jordan. They talk about LeBron James being. I mean, Michael Jordan was big.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when I was going to school out there, Michael Jordan was big, and I was a big Michael Jordan fan from when he was at University of North Carolina.
I remember you had the poster with him in blue up on the wall.
I was a big Michael Jordan. Our cousin Sonia introduced us to him, and I'm a big Carolina guy. And when he came to Chicago, of course, I had to hate Chicago because I was a Knicks fan.
That's right.
And those days, the Detroit Pistons used to give it to the Bulls. Give it to Michael. Give it to him.
And remember, that's right across. That's right. That's interstate.
Right.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you right now, man. Michael had to earn it.
Yep.
And they
have you ever seen? And they were
when I
see Last Dance,
Gary? No, I have. I heard parts about it, but I'm just trying to like for instance, when these documentaries comes, I relive it. Like when they had what's the one, NWA and Dre. And my son was watching. He said, "Dad, you need to watch this." I said, "My man, I lived that.
We lived through that.
I could tell you the next things happen when they have Salt and Pepper coming out. I said, I lived all of that."
James put you out there because I remember this. He was like, "Gary, you was a Georgetown fan back in the day."
Yeah, Georgetown was my school because of Patrick Ewing. But
remember Patrick Ewing was there. Do you remember Michael Graham, Gary?
Yeah, Michael Graham was
Michael
there.
Graham.
Yep.
Reggie
Sleepy Floyd.
Yep.
Those guys are those.
I remember watching those games, man. I remember watching those games
on the Sabbath.
Listen, guys. I know y'all don't remember this. Jason Ditto. They live like 4 blocks away from the church. Turn up on Putnam Avenue.
Gates Avenue. We go over there.
That's right. That's where we used to get the scores from. To see what was going on.
There was no internet.
No.
So when everybody would eat, we had to go over to their house and watch St. John's play Georgetown.
That was it. Gene Crawford got it, Gary. Reggie Williams. I bet you don't remember when Reggie Williams was being interviewed.
Yeah.
I remember it. Fussing with his word and cursed. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I remember that. Gary, James remember because James was a Bethelite with us. He said went down to Gates Avenue. We used to watch it over there.
Yeah,
man. Something big. G, I need to make a real quick flip here, real quick, because I'm going to be honest with you. I was doing a whole lot of work this week. I wasn't close by my CNN, or I like to read about some of this stuff on the internet, and I wasn't close to it. What happened? See you, Sharito. See you, baby.
Bye, girl. Bye-bye.
See you. What happened with the statements? Come on, help me, Senator.
Oh, Mitch McConnell.
He said that
he's a fool.
He said that African Americans now vote as much as Americans,
as though it was different, as though we're different.
So I just tell you,
as though we're not Americans.
Yeah, but you see, the sad thing about it is that it took me a minute to realize that. It had to take somebody else to realize that, you know, and he knows exactly what he is talking about. Do you know in Georgia they have a place where they had 6 voting outlets, and they reduced it to one place.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what
I'm
you.
trying to tell you, it's
called
real.
voter. It's
The
called voter.
voter
It's
suppression is
voter
real.
suppression. It's
It's
voter
real.
suppression.
Yeah, so it's even New York has changed its laws because you look at it like 20 years ago, let's say like 2000, Republicans used to get voted through the mail, you know.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna quote my sister-in-law saying this, and I don't want to get into any controversy. It just you see, as minorities, what happens is that we always find out late. Investments,
everything,
trends, what
everything.
Yeah,
have you.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
So really what has happened is that minorities, black and brown people, and the disenfranchised just found out, like, well, you can mail your vote in.
You
I
can
don't have to.
always do it.
Right. We could always do it, but that's how Republicans has been always voting. Now that we found out, they're trying to squeeze that.
We said that's right. You're right,
So
Gary.
like so like Kirk, our cousin, he told me, he's like, man, I go down the block and it takes me 10 minutes to vote. Some people it takes them 2 3 hours to vote.
Hours to vote. Yep.
So
Yep.
when you hear Donald Trump say things that was hurtful, which he said the other day, that when white people need to get a COVID test,
Mm-hmm.
they are told to put they are told in New York State, in New York City, to go in back of the line, and that's absolutely not true.
Sure. Of
That's
course, we hear a lot of stuff that we know is not true, but I just that's what pushed me to be successful, G,
Mhm.
because what I recognize is that some people look at ignorance as being bliss. I look at ignorance as being behind.
Way behind,
Well,
Pat.
well, Donald Trump and those this country is changing,
Yep.
and you have to realize that um, what he's doing is on purpose. If he would have got convicted and impeached, he would have lost his pension and his perks. And one of the perks that Donald Trump has, he gets, I think, $1 million or $2 million to fly around the country.
Right.
So you don't know if he's using government money to fly to Arizona
To
to
make these
say
speeches.
to make these speeches.
Right.
And
Right.
even if it's not that, he has a money. People has money to take care of that.
Right.
So you have to, Jimmy, is more than a dog whistles. When you say it straight out there like that, it's fine. So
Yeah.
let me just say this, and I wanted to say this, and I didn't get a chance to in our pre-meeting to say this, but I'll say this. When we were little and we used to watch Good Times, and Dad or Mom used to send us to bed early, I always said to myself, "Don't worry, one day we'll be able to watch all the good times we want
Right.
because it's archived and they held it." So you just got to realize that, man, I lost my thought, but you got to realize.
Wow.
Oh, I know they're saying. So I used to always realize when I see uh, white mobs throw bricks and fight black and brown people, especially when the girls used to go to Ruby went to school in Arkansas. And so
Yeah.
all these white people, and then I said, where are all these white people who are so mean to her? That's what they're trying to protect.
That's right.
Now 30 years later, they're trying to protect. It's like, that's my grandmother, that's my grandfather.
Absolutely. Here it is again, Gary. And I'm gonna say this, right. This is one of the reasons why I don't prescribe to the word minority. Right.
Mhm.
I'm not a minority. You understand where I'm coming from? I know that we use that term. We've been using it for years. I've used it for years. But as I think about certain things, minority puts us in a certain place and puts someone else in a better bracket. You understand where I'm coming from? That's why I don't like to use it. I rather use black and brown people, or
I like
or
that, Paul.
that for me. And I say that because when you look at even Potomac Conference, that has been, when I got here 13 years ago, straight Caucasian. You know, you see where I'm coming from. But now you see so many black and brown people, and remember, Hispanics are running this country as it pertains to jobs, and you understand, and moving up in the brackets and what have you. My issue simply is that all the pictures, and I'm gonna tell you right now, all the pictures of the people that were in Charlottesville, okay, that where you see them walking with tiki torches and stuff
Right.
like
Right.
that. People are looking at those pictures and saying, that's my neighbor.
Yep.
That's my so-and-so. You understand where I'm coming from? At first, when people look at those pictures or look at those videos, you're saying, oh my, I'm saying Caucasian people, oh my goodness, it's, a mob went out there. That's terrible. But when you look and be like, yo, wait a second. I know some of these people here. You now label those people based on the outcome. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So for example, we call them a mob when they're protesters. While it depends on who's the one that's actually protesting, whether
better believe it, Pat.
Whether it's considered to be vile or a mobster, a mob like mentality.
There you go. Look at those 8 kids, Pat. Look at those 8 kids that went into the school by themselves. You know, one of them was Adventist. Some 8. Wow, man, our heads must have been drinking, y'all. 8. It's not Arkansas 8. It's what 8?
Yeah, yeah.
Jenna 8 or the Jenna 6?
No, man. The 8,
no.
the 8 black people that went into the white school. One of them
he's talking, Gary. This is way back in the 50s,
right?
Oh, okay.
And anyhow,
the Arkansas 8, I think.
I wonder if the Arkansas 8,
the
Little Rock 9. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Holly. The Little Rock 9. Yo, look at all those people. It's videotaped of those people shouting and spitting, and the women, the girls in their nice. You got to look at them, Gary. In their
with their poodle
with their poodle, exactly, and you know, with the little bobby socks and their hair in their ponytail with their books. You know, prissy saying, "Get out of here, black people." Those are and I need you to understand, those are the 70-year-olds right now.
And they don't want to tell that they don't want their kids to know that was them.
So now when you look at it and be like, yo, that's my grandmother.
Yeah.
That's my grand uncle.
What also has happened, Paul, a lot of people who are white in the 50s and 60s, their kids or their grandkids has married people of color.
That's right.
But understand, G, you started out this whole thing by saying there's some rule now, right, G? There's a rule now that you can't speak about that. And embarrassed.
You want to say, right? Because I feel embarrassed.
So what you're trying to do is cut off your history. That we can't speak about your history that makes you look bad. It's not only with black people. So then you can't speak about what was done to the Native Americans. You can't speak about what the Americans did even to the Irish that came here and forgot their way, and the Italians that came here and forgot their way. Yo, let me tell you something, G. I just want you to know, right? Just like there's voter suppression, there's voice suppression.
Nice.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Now you're preaching.
And when you find that, it's a ploy for people to forget where they came from. That's why they want my kids to be like, that was
worry about that. Yeah.
They want my kids to say that. And that's one of the reasons why white America have no problem with black and brown people coming together, but they really don't want brown people and white people getting together. But if black and brown people get together, it muddles our history. It still muddles our history. You understand where I'm coming from? But to mix with them, it's a big problem. Right. You understand where I'm coming from? Right. And I see what you're saying, James. I'm not really calling out white people. What I'm calling out is what's his name did, DeSantis did in Florida. That's what he did in Florida.
I think he's joking when he says that, Paul.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
I think he's joking.
I understand, because we were not raised.
You are calling them out.
We were not, Pat, we were not raised to talk about white people. We were raised to talk about conditions. We were raised to talk about environments. That's how Daddy taught us. Daddy never said this, that, so and so, whatever. And what I'm saying is, based on DeSantis, right? based on voter suppression, based on being told that we are minorities. We're not minorities in this country. Oh, you understand where I'm coming from?
Well, I could take you up on that. I just think that when you go, and I look at New York as a melting pot. Go to a Yankee game, and go to a New York Met game, and most of the people there are not of color, more than before. You know, same thing. There's a lot of color when you go to the stadiums. But again, we were talking about the Midwest. Go to the Midwest. Go to
Right.
baseball games. Go
But,
to
but please, guys, I understand what you're saying. I'm not talking about the amount of people. I'm not talking about the population. Just like somebody wrote in just now, and it's talking about the systems of power, right? And again, the reason why we're called minorities is not because we are the minority. The reason why we're called minorities is because we're the minority when it comes to money. We're the minority when it comes to homes. We're the minority when it comes to so and so. You understand where I'm coming from? And they want to make sure that we're still redlined. We want to make sure that we can't get those loans. They want to make sure that we don't get certain education. They want to make sure that's why they're keeping the minority mindset with us and keeping the power. You understand where I'm coming from? Yeah, I have no problem saying this, and I'm okay with this. When you find, even in our church today, more black people taking over power, taking over positions in the General Conference or the North American Division and this, that, and the other, whatever, you got to understand that because you're in a position doesn't mean you're more powerful. You could be in a position and the powerful people are still running you. You understand where I'm coming from?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
That's fact.
Yeah.
So we've got to understand, honestly.
the Dallas Cowboys.
Come on, Gary. You called it the other day. You called it the other day. And this is one of the reasons why, Gary, you got to understand, again, why so many people are making sure that the athletes stay black and the owners stay white. You see where I'm coming from? Because, Gary, if you look at it, I went to me and Spencer went to a Wizards game on Monday. I sat down 4 seats, and someone from the back shouted, who knew me, really, who said, "Hey, is that you, Paul Graham?" I said, "Yeah." The person had actually said, "Who do you know to get up there?" Or because they know my salary, how did you get there?
Wendy's salary.
Probably so. So do you see how the power plays out?
Can I flip something for you real quick?
Yeah.
Just to bring it back on the other side. It's not really that expensive to get those seats. That's why I said it's about knowledge. A lot of these people come into a group or a group and
season ticket holders
and come together and be like, me, Gary, Paul, and so and so and so and so. We're gonna buy these seats and split it. Now, and I'm not taking that away from what you were saying.
No.
I go back to knowledge, and I always stay with that. When I think about, let's go the financial way or the investment way. There were some of our brothers was in the stock market way before and never told anybody about it. Right?
We're good for that.
Come on, that's right.
We're good. We're good for that. But when they had their cheap downlines, they don't go to their rich friends for that. They go to you for that. So,
yeah, but doesn't it make sense? No, just think about this, right? What I'm saying to you is that nobody really tells you about these things. That's why we have to stay well read. We have to stay on top of the game.
But Pat, I'm glad you brought that up, because it was funny. I was looking to buy a Range Rover. You and I was talking about it.
Sure.
And it's like, and somebody came to me, was like, "Now you don't want a Range Rover because the maintenance on it is so high."
Right. We had that conversation.
Right. And so sometimes as consumers, we try to buy status. And then when you look around, who's buying the GMCs, who's buying the Tahoes?
Come on.
Not us as our white counterparts.
Come on.
Because remember, the first car that I got was a Ford. And I was like, yeah, one of the reasons I bought a Mustang is because the parts are cheap.
Right.
So, not to put my business out there, I'm thinking of now trying to buy one of those instead of buying a $100,000 G-Wagon where you switch out the oil is $7,000. I
Come
don't
on.
got that. I don't got that.
I'm trying to tell you, go American, or just simply go with what you can afford.
No, okay, Paul. I was going to say the second piece of it. I don't have a problem with buying high-end stuff, right? Because the truth is that the more high-end it is, the less maintenance you have. Come on, listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. That's why it's so expensive to own it, because it's not in the shop so many. Listen, I never forget. I was talking to some girlfriends of mine years ago, and I said, "Yo, I'm gonna make pantyhose that don't run." They say you're gonna be poor. So I was like, "What you mean?" I was like, "Listen, if pantyhose keep running, you understand what I'm saying? If pantyhose
keep on buying, you got to keep on buying it.
You got to keep buying it. So
Same
if
thing-
you
same
make
thing with
pantyhose,
cancer. Same thing with cancer.
no, don't think about it. If you don't listen, let me tell you. If you have to buy something that's going to keep you there. You understand what I'm trying to say? So here's my thing, and then, Gary, I think this is the conversation we had before. Is that I own a 2004 vehicle, and I don't mind buying something, but I don't want to be in. Once you are around money and understand how this financial thing works, financially stable people use other people's money to keep them stable.
Yeah, but
not
we
theirs.
We can't do that.
We can if you. I understand what you're saying, G. Hold on.
We can't do that. Right?
I understand, Gary. I listen 100%. I don't want us to get into this thing, but to me, I see money in a totally different ball game now. I see it totally different. I don't see money anymore in a way of what you might call wealth.
You know, so funny, Pat. You're so right, and you know, it took us in our 50s. You know, and this is a conversation for another day. If I was to do it all over again, right?
Go ahead.
And I would leave to work, even if it was at Walmart. I'll save every penny for 5-6 years. Understand? You're not going to get where you need to go on a 40-hour work week. That is not going to happen.
What's so sad? What's so sad about what you're saying, Gary? I had a conversation with somebody just this week about that. We were bred. I have no problem saying this. It was only until mom hit a certain age bracket, mid-40s, when mom got rid of that mindset. But we were born and bred that we go to school, you get a job, you work your 9 to 5 until you retire, and you live off the retirement.
Yeah.
When I don't care what y'all say, when you work around people who are not black and brown, okay, and not living in mid-America, okay, and they say, and you, Pat, get $50,000, and I, as a non-black or a non-black and brown, get $50,000. You take that $50,000, Pat, and you buy that new car that you always wanted.
Not me, but I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying, right?
No, I hear you. I'm following.
Right. Yeah, I get the $50,000 and I put it in an annuity. Are you see where I'm coming from?
Well, Paul, even with that, when I was at my job, go ahead.
Okay, but what I'm understanding, even in the retirement world, I understood retirement when the regional conferences decided to do their own retirement. That's when I had a concept of what retirement is. Retirement is someone using my money. They're using my money to pay me. The same money that I made, I'm giving it to them to use it to pay me. And I'm saying, wait a second. What we're really supposed to be doing, Gary, take for instance this cat from Brooklyn Temple. He gets up, he buys 8-9 houses, right? Before he reaches 40 years old. 8-9 houses before he reaches 40 years old. You know what I'm talking about? Malcolm's dad. You know what I'm talking about, Gary? Malcolm's dad. He buys 9 houses and, or whatever, real estate. People are like, oh, what you doing that for? What you doing? He works for no one. When the money comes in, it comes to him. So if he wants to take a trip, he takes a trip. He's in his 40s. Does he have to retire? He doesn't have to retire. Or unless he sells the building and he takes part of it and put it somewhere. You see, the problem is, G, is that we were taught, when you said 40-hour week, all I could think about is the 15th and 30th.
Yeah. I'm out of it. I have a friend right now whose 15th and the 30th pays his small bills.
I understand, Pat. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know you can't say it.
I wouldn't say that about him, but
Right.
I have experienced that. And here is the difference between it all. It's freedom. All right.
It
It's
is
Look,
freedom.
when you get up at
no, not at, when you want to.
when you want to.
What
Look,
time does that?
if
What
you-
time
if
does
you-
that? What time does Daddy wake up, Gary?
11.
Okay, and let me. What does Mom complain about all the time, Pat?
Well, he's waking up too late.
That Daddy gets up when he wants to get up.
That's what
Okay.
retirement's about.
Okay, time out. When did Daddy retire, Gary? Do you know what age he was?
Yeah, both of them. 55.
Oh, he was 55 when he
That's right.
retired.
That's right.
Not 65. He was 55 when he retired. Okay, think of it. I'm 4 years away, and I got to work longer than he had to fall in that category.
And
Are you
their
understand?
job and what they did for us was to make sure they did everything in their power to make sure that we would live a better life than them.
Well, one of the
We're
things
gonna live a better life than
one,
them, Pat.
one of the things is that when you get your retirement package, they say things like, "Well, you want to take out 3% or you want to take out 9%."
Right.
Come on, Gary.
Right. So you could take out the minimum, because I know people who's retired as millionaires because they did not take their whole check. They took their whole check in like TIA CREF, like 9%.
Right.
And they live lives like there's people, like when you go to work, there's always that one or two people that's like, hey, you have the Sunshine Club, we having a potluck, everybody give you $5, we're going to lunch, and somebody's like, nah, I don't do that. And they look at them as weird because that's the social context. There's people in the hospitals, and some people don't have to eat lunch because they have all of these what the pharmaceutical companies that give them food. You could literally map out where food is in the hospital.
Absolutely, Gary.
And there's people who do that.
Right. Gee, let me feed something else with you. I just got a text message from one of my friends. I remember when our friends were going to the military, we were like, yo, what you doing?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you this. Can I
Go ahead, Gary. Go ahead. Come on, G.
I would drive trains for the MTA.
Yeah, hold on. Wait, let me finish. Hold on, G. 1994, I was working for the city as a music recreational therapist.
Yeah.
Recreational therapist at Goldwater Hospital.
Right.
I needed 20 years.
20. I remembered.
I could have walked out at 20 years.
Do you remember when Daddy told you that, Patrick?
Full retirement, right? So, and I left there at 20. I left there at
24.
4. So add 20 to that. What's that? No, 40 what?
44.
I could have, let's say 44, 45. At 44, 45, I could have been.
And then gone into the ministry and be
good. And then gone to the ministry and have 2. You understand what I'm saying?
That's why I don't hate on people when they're 18 and they go to the post office.
And start working for a post office. The federal government. Federal government.
Or I'm going to even go even social than this, and you're going to love this. People like yourself, or even earlier, that had kids at 19 or 20.
Easy. It wasn't 19, 20.
I'm not saying you. I shouldn't have said
I don't know where that kid is.
But there's people now. I'm still young enough, right? But there's some people now who had their kids much younger, and they're like 40 and 42, and they're traveling the world in their prime.
That's right.
I ain't got no kids to raise.
That's right. That's why
I said Gary. Pat did it right because Pat's kids were gone out of the house 6 years ago. Well, when did baby girl leave, Pat? 4 years.
I don't know if they ever leave your house or your heart, though.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is that Pat and Nat can travel if they want to years ago.
It's hard for me to, not hard. It's to turn around and sit back and say, that my daughter lives in Florida kind of burns sometimes. You don't think about it. You know what I mean? But she's gone, and I look back at her. Sometimes I open her bedroom door, and I say to myself, this is not her room anymore. You know what I mean? I said, it's just not.
I think I'm dying myself.
You too, Gary. You too, Gary. I went out to Huntsville. I'm chilling at your son's house. Your son comes down and he's like, Uncle Paul, you want something to eat? I'm like, I don't want your hands in my food.
Take it.
I don't know where you're.
I went to visit him. Paul, me too. I went to Huntsville.
Huntsville.
I'm looking for his knocking on doors. He's like, oh, Uncle Pat, hey, come over here. I'm like, oh, okay. This is where you live. It's hard because let me tell you, it also tells you about your mortality.
Yes, it does.
It really does. It kind of makes you say, "Oh wow, this is really real." Because I'm 52 years old, and for the most part,
you're 51.
51. I go by the year. I don't go by the birth date. I go by the year.
That's dad.
So to me now, when I see that my son lives in Baltimore, he came here to eat and left one day. He just came to eat and just left. And my daughter lives in Florida. It's almost like, oh snap. Now this is the time when I should be like, yo, I'm out. Now don't get me wrong, I don't want my dog to die, but that's my biggest responsibility right now is my dog.
It's the pets.
You know, who gonna watch over my dog
I think our biggest responsibility is for us to stay alive. Because
yes.
No, Gary, stay
for
healthy.
Them. Hold on, Paul.
Stay healthy.
For them, because no matter what, they still need you.
Your daughter's making more money than you, Pat.
Yeah, that's clear. That's
right.
Absolutely clear. And you know what? And I'm okay with.
And Jordan is doing some stuff. Like when I talked to Jordan the other day, he's doing some stuff like staking. You know, he taught me some things called staking.
Yeah, staking with crypto.
Right. So this, you know, Pat, you like there's nothing you can say that'd be like, oh my goodness, I want my kids to have a 40-hour work week. And so it's like Jordan don't think like that. Jordan be like, yo, the average, he's not a millennial, he's a he's a microwave age. He's
27.
He's unidentified.
Nah, they have a name.
No, they have a name for that.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the generation, somebody look it up. He has a name for that.
We're Generation X. There is
millennial is behind us. A baby boomers is over us.
Right. Busters is past them.
Right. Busters, baby boomers.
Oh, Pat. My babies hate that. Don't miss me too much.
And
Gen Z. It's Gen Z.
Yes,
he's a Gen Z.
He's not a Gen Z. He's
Gen Z.
Look it up.
So I'm gonna look it up right now. I don't think so. I think there's another name for a 27-year-old.
26. That's it.
Is he Gen Z?
It's Gen Z.
Okay, so Gen Z's, yeah. Gen Z's. What is the Gen Z age? Gen Z
Zenobia saying
25.
Zenobia saying I am a Gen Z.
Jordan is he's the youngest of the millennials.
That sounds right.
That's right.
I'm looking at it right now because Jordan is 26. The millennials is 26 to 41.
Jordan and Antoine.
See, Zenobia got it. Zenobia said Jordan is a millennial.
So she says she is a Gen Z. And she's a Gen Z, right?
Okay. So remember now, Gen Zs are not looking for 40 hours a week.
And neither are millennials.
Right. Millennials don't stay in jobs more than 2 years.
Millennials are the one that go to their job in slippers. Fire me. I got all the knowledge I need.
Yeah, you find them on Upworks.
That's right. That's right.
They don't have
look, bro. Time. Look. You could lick envelopes for 25,000. You could write envelopes, thank you cards for 25 grand a year.
Sir,
you hear that? You hear that, Pat?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
With our handwriting.
That's right. Because they don't have handwriting.
You could write thank you notes for 25K a year.
You're right. Listen, we got to make a switch and get ready to get out of here.
I don't
even know how we got into that, but the problem is when we go into conversations like this, it's because we don't talk in the week. That's
true. That is true.
Well, that's fine. I mean, sometimes
Gary wouldn't answer any of my. Gary calls me early in the morning, Pat. Gary calls me like 7:30 in the morning. When I get up, I'm like, who just?
That's after Bible boot camp, though.
Yeah, I do Bible boot camp. Then I go back. to sleep.
But Paul go right back to sleep.
I go back to sleep.
I'm up that early because I need company to drive
To
with
drive
me
back
home.
to
I
drive.
know that.
Because now that I've been doing what I'm doing, I don't see any clients until 11 or 12.
Go ahead. Finish up. Say what you're
Yo,
saying.
stop that nastiness,
Pat,
like the pastor.
I'm just saying.
Nasty.
Yeah. Yo, I'm gonna find it and pull it up.
I'm sure you guys.
I'm gonna find it and pull it up.
I've been begging you that you put that up. I'm just gonna go to the background.
G, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
You seen it? Did you see it?
No. What I saw is people commenting about it, and then I heard the word people say that he hawked up in it. That guy would have got a box lick from me till I came.
He obviously had to know he was standing there,
and he turned around when he did the thing. It's his brother. It's not his friend.
Oh, that's cool. If it's brother,
even if it was both, if it was both, y'all would have got smacked.
Yeah,
straight up.
Listen, you couldn't ask me to do that. You couldn't ask me to do that with the stuff Paul have his mouth on. You tell me Paul is gonna spit in his hand and rub it on my face, and he just had COVID.
Just play that joint before we go, man. Just play
that. No. Some people say don't do that, man.
Something and you don't see it clearly.
Oh shoot!
But you hit.
Oh.
And this is where most people would not face Jesus anymore.
Cherie said, "I'll be back."
What most people would do is turn away.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
What I'm telling you?
He said, "Be strong, preacher."
What I'm telling you is just as he's physically standing here.
Peggy said, "I just logged off."
God's saying, can you physically and spiritually and emotionally be able to stand? When getting the vision or receiving it might get nasty.
Ugh.
I'm going to say it in a point just like that. Receiving vision from God might get nasty.
Ugh.
You mean?
Okay, Gary, come back on. I'll come off.
In crazy faith, I just bought my dream car.
Come on, Gary. Come on back.
I'll
take it off.
Ask me,
I'll take it off.
Sell it back.
I'll take it off. Gary actually was gone. He's like, "Nah, I ain't doing that. Get out of here."
Look at Paul.
Yo,
Gary.
Donald Roll said it nicely. Pat, I like what Donald Roll said.
What did he say?
He said something like a stunt like that is trying to. What kind of attention were you looking for?
Listen, let me tell you something.
He's not going to lose. He's not going to lose viewers.
For what? Why would he lose?
He's not going to lose viewers.
Listen, he's not going to lose viewers. Here's the thing. Sometimes we think as preachers that it will turn out different. Sometimes you think so. Paul, how many times have you planned something and
let me tell you, my last mess up
come out right?
There was a girl at Berean Church that was heavy, and I was talking to her earlier, and I felt like we were connecting. And when she was singing, I brought her up there. I mean, she was leaving, and I stopped her, and I was talking to her, and what I wanted to say to her didn't come out the way I wanted to say what I wanted.
It happens.
To say to her. And even though she hit me back and said, "I knew what you were trying to do," or whatever, for others, it looked as if I was like coming off on her weight and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I had gained weight. You know, Pat, I'm thinner than this, but I gained weight with the COVID. She is a heavy woman, and I said, if I can lose weight and work out, I want you to do the same thing too. What's your plans for yourself? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I said, for every so and so you lose, she said, I want to lose some pounds. I said, for every pound you lose, I'm going to give you so and so. I want to motivate you. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And you know, some people looked at it like, you know, and it came out bad. It came out a certain way or whatever. But I understand how things can come out bad because that's not what you were thinking or what even, you know, or what have you.
Yeah, it's but even though this was planned, even when you plan it, sometimes it doesn't come out right. I give him kudos on coming back, but I still think that it was what do you call it? It was risky.
It was definitely risky. Definitely risky.
Because what I would have done, I got his point of what he was trying to say.
I do too.
He could have used water. He could have used dirt, which would have been good. Mud. It'd have been safer for him to put mud.
He could have taken a little cup and said, "Let's make believe this is my spit."
Yeah. And it would have worked out just as fine. It would just, I think, would have had the same thing.
What said ill-advised? Yeah.
Right. But for you to hawk that thing, I just think I thought it was too much.
I'm gonna do that to Gary on my next time when me and Gary go out to.
It'll never, Paul.
That never happened.
Wherever you are, I just bury yourself there.
Gary, do you remember the altar call that I made with you?
Yeah.
He said he could have used the PowerPoint presentation. Cerise is right, man. Let me tell you something. One of the worst things you could do is spit on somebody or use your spit for something.
And you know what Jesus did, Pat, also to heal. What Jesus did to heal this man had nothing to do with whether something was nasty or not.
Right. It didn't have nothing to do with that.
It had nothing to do with that. What Jesus did was that he needed to make mud.
But
he didn't spit and put it on someone. He needed to make mud. So he spit in it and made the clay.
Jeremiah, remember that altar call, Paul? He said that altar call with Gary made me cry. No joke.
But nobody know that it made me uncomfortable.
See what I'm saying?
But that's not for me to say.
Right.
Because I knew I'm a big boy, literally and figuratively. So I knew what Paul was trying to do. I knew Paul was not trying to embarrass me or anything, because we knew in fact, this is probably one of Paul's greater altar calls.
Sure.
And it was inspired because P saw me get up in the morning.
He was waking up every
morning and going down to Wind Drive. That's the life that I have to live. But you still do not know who the players are, where that is involved. So
can I give a go ahead, G? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, but mistakes are made, but God has a way of making things work. I don't think this worked.
No, right. It didn't work.
My goodness, Gary. I thought you were coming, Gary. I thought I was hearing Gary's heart for a second. I was like, "Oh, Gary, you're sensitive." Gary's like, I don't think this works.
But here's the thing: it has nothing to do with COVID, and it has nothing to do with had nothing to do with COVID, and it had nothing to do with the pandemic or anything of like that. It was nasty. And
period.
Yeah,
even in the times we're living in, Pat, during COVID time, that's nasty.
Have you ever been spit on? It's not a good feeling.
It depends. You talking? Are you talking?
I remember.
Not sexually. Right?
I remember.
Are you talking about sexually, or are you just talking about just?
No,
like,
not
Yeah,
sexually.
what are you talking about, Gary? Yeah, what are you talking about, Gary?
Angrily. I like the way you keep it light. Somebody's angry at you and they spit at you.
Gary started blushing and said, "Look at my shoulders." Angrily.
No. I mean, he and somebody said it too. He did apologize afterwards, because honestly, sometimes as a preacher, you turn around and you look back and it's like, yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah.
That shouldn't even, I remember I made a statement at Oakwood. I was preaching to the college days kids. I want you to think about how we don't think, okay? Mm-hmm. And I said, anyone who gives me a shirt off their back,
I remember that,
I'm going to give them A, B, C, and D. What about the girls? How could the girls take off their shirt?
Excellent point.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're not thinking when you're talking. So how a guy could easily pull off his shirt and hand it to me, But a girl that has on a bra or doesn't have on anything underneath, how is she gonna? So they disqualify immediately.
Right.
See, and Pat, again, here we go again. If you want to go back to how things are played out in communities today, these are why some of these questions that are put on some of these tests does not apply to the person that does not have a chimney, or does not apply to a person who does not have a lawn, or does not apply to a person that doesn't have a driveway. You see where I'm coming from?
Here we go.
And this is why I'm gonna say this is why I have an intern thing coming up in February, right? And I'm teaching the pastors about bias, that you can get up there, Pat. How many times have you gotten up there and spoke on your own bias and didn't even get it? Didn't know that you were saying something about someone.
Look what we did today. We don't have enough viewers. If we had 1 million viewers, we do 2,000 views a week, right? God bless, right? And we have a tight-knit community. If through 1 million viewers, we would have got chastised for what we did with the color purple today.
Yeah,
some people would have seen that as insensitive.
That's right.
Okay, yes, but that's one of the reasons why I said that we don't prescribe to this. To this.
Paul, you could say that. Somebody's still going to have a problem with it.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Look at hold on. Just hear me out. When the guy said the thing about raping your wife,
right?
If you listen carefully in the congregation, people were amening him.
It's true.
If you listen carefully in the congregation, women were. Okay, I'm not saying he's right. Just hear me out. What I'm saying. I'm saying that's why you have to be careful of what you say, because no matter what you do, you're going to offend someone. Remember, Paul? I don't know if you heard my presentation last week on trauma in the Adventist church. We call
shameless plug. Saturday.
Tomorrow.
We're doing it again. Tomorrow we're doing it again. 12 o'clock. I was impressed by it. Come on, listen to it again. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Shameless plug. Wait, it's not a shameless plug. If you said it'd be a shameless plug, y'all need to watch this tomorrow.
Well, I got you. Go ahead. And really, though, we cause trauma to people, and we don't even recognize that we have.
Right, right. But we as public speakers have to. I'm sorry. We who speak on behalf of Christ, right?
That's a better way of putting it. Yeah.
Right. When we speak, when Christ speaks, he is all inclusive. When he speaks, when we speak, we are bent. When we speak,
and I want you to recognize something. Remember that when Christ spoke, there were writers around him, or people who interpreted it with their writing. When Jesus spoke to the multitudes, it was a different conversation than when he spoke to one person. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what we have to be careful of. Anytime, not just preachers, but anytime any public speaker, let me tell you something. When the president gets up, if you ever read Barack Obama's book, he has been through speech writers before it comes to his desk. And they are looking over every paragraph to make sure that no one could tear it apart. Not lies, not what's lying and what's not. What they're making sure is that you don't offend anyone.
That's right.
Because sometimes you could say
you don't want to lose the percentage of your support.
Well, you don't want to offend anybody. It is very difficult.
Obama is such a lifetime ago now, right?
Yes. Can you believe that, guy? Guys, Pat, we got to wrap up, man. I got to speak today at WAU at 7.
Yeah. Okay.
You still got time?
He said at 7. It's like going on 5 o'clock.
How long is it going to take him to get there? 20 minutes?
Yeah, about 20 minutes. It depends. It depends. Here, but guys, let me just say this, and Paul, I say this to you, as well as God has given us the opportunity to be pulpiteers. The gospel does not need fluff anymore.
It doesn't.
It doesn't need it.
It doesn't.
I said anymore. It has never needed it.
Pat,
you don't need tools in speaking.
Pat, I made a comment. Please, I made a comment the other day that I said, when we speak from the Word of God, people are waiting to hear a credible voice.
Sure.
And a lot of people, when they read it, they thought I meant that the person had to be credible. I said, the person is not about the person, it's the person being used. So when I get up, I need to be in the word so that what they're hearing, the credible voice is not of Paul Graham, they're hearing the credible voice of the Holy Spirit. So again, when you get up and you talk your own words, say what you feel like saying, say what your opinion is, and this, that, and the other, your opinion is not credible.
I have two things before we get out of here. One of them is that
real quick question. One quick question. Tomorrow, where is this on? This is on Minister Graham. This is on Minister Graham.
You can find it on 3. I'm eventually bringing all my presentations on Minister Graham when it comes from the word. So I have one more part after this. But here's the 2 things that I wanted to share. I hope I didn't forget it. One of them is, you remember when we used to preach back in the day and we talk about women, even men, and the clothes they wear, and you come in here with tight this, and you come in here with tight that, and your pants all hanging all down, and this, that, and the other. Paul, as I look back in 20 years of ministry, that was to get an amen. What about that person who that's all they had to wear?
Or felt
that they're giving their best to the master.
Or felt whole.
Yeah, Gary.
With their esteem. It's like,
that's right.
This is what I feel comfortable in.
That's right.
Or what have you.
That's right.
Or they seeking attention not from men, but anybody.
That's
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. Gary, I am with you 110%.
Let me give you another one. I had another one. We sit up there as preachers and people sleep in church. Wake up that one over there. Preachers, we do it. Wake up.
You don't know what they're going through?
You don't know. You have no clue. That's probably the best rest. And they can hear you, by the way. But that's probably the best rest. Why? What are you moving them around for?
Or the very fact that they came to church knowing that they just got 18 hours of work.
Come on. Hold on. Even if it was the club Friday night, the problem is that even though you're speaking, you said it before, with the authority of God, we cause trauma on people. Let me tell you one thing. I'm giving it away for tomorrow, but I'm going to explain this thing to you. One of the biggest problems that we have in Adventism or Christianity, period, we should never have anybody walk out of your church or being in your church thinking that they're going to hell. That's trauma alone by itself.
Well, again, here we go again. Altar calls, as Zenobia says, should not be in a place whether if you raise your hand, you're going to heaven, and if you don't, you're going to hell.
That's right. But we do that. Clear the front row. Clear the front row. Clear the front row. Let me tell you something. It's a wake up call, and yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow at 12 o'clock. But what I do want to say to everybody is, and I'm grateful for this conversation because someone said it in the chat. That's what growth is all about.
It is.
You can't turn around and be the same way after God has brought you through something. Listen, I'm gonna say it again here, and you could bury me alive. There's no sin that's gonna keep me out of the kingdom.
No. Let's close out.
Why is your face all the way up on the camera?
Because my face is beautiful.
Well, because I can see.
Hold on, I have to finish that statement. I can't leave it like that.
I'm sorry, Pat. Go ahead.
It is the choice that you make, whether you want to be saved or not, that keeps you out of the kingdom.
You better believe it. Daddy taught me. I always go by what Dad says. Yo, you're lost because you rejected him.
You lost because you choose it.
That's right.
And if you have to battle over what type of work you're going to do to be saved or lost, what you have done is diluted the blood of Jesus.
Definitely. I don't want to make light of this whole thing, but you see how Gary left his job to go on OnlyFans, Patrick? We can't be at a place where we are judging Gary for doing this. You understand where I'm coming from?
Gary, you're on OnlyFans with.
I give everybody his stuff. He puts his foot on there. He sits there and he cuts his toenails.
Oh, ASMR or something like that.
Yeah, that's the sound thing. That's
why I'm able to retire.
Pat, man, we got to pray for Uncle France, man. What you doing? We don't already know what you're doing this week.
Why don't we just go real around the horn and give us our favorite thing about Uncle France? And let people know about him, and then we'll pray about him.
Gary Daniel Bird. She said, "I'm judging Gary."
Well, hey, Daniel Bird, one of my favorite people. How
Yeah,
you doing,
awesome.
Dean?
She's
Yeah.
awesome.
For the foot lovers
you
passing
know,
out. Before you put it out there for the foot lovers passing out.
It's everybody knows now. When I come to your camp meeting, cover it up because Grams, you're gonna be judged.
You know what, Gary? It was Yoni from day one.
That's what started it. Her hands. It was her hands.
What we call her pretty hands. So
yeah.
Well, listen, I don't know if I can. I don't want to put it out there like this, but we want to pray for our uncle at this time. We do understand that the doctors are there at the house in Jamaica right now, so we want to just lift up our uncle.
I'm not ready to go to Jamaica prematurely. How about that?
I hear you, but the fact of the matter is that he's been watching this from day one. He's always on with us in Jamaica, and so our auntie asked us earlier today, right when we came on it, she wanted us to pray, and that is what we will do. We will lift it, but we're going to ask everyone right now, with the amount of people that are on right now. We know that everything is God's will, but what I'm asking for, if everyone remember him in prayer, his name is Uncle France.
Like France,
Uncle
like the the country, France.
It's pronounced like the country.
I'm going to see if I can find a picture of him real quick, guys. But go ahead.
Okay.
From Roehampton, Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Okay. That's our dog.
And so in that, we want to lift up our uncle. Harold, I believe you lost someone yesterday. Harold, I think, lost a family member. He lost his uncle yesterday. Harold lost his uncle yesterday.
And uncles are special.
Yeah.
Uncles are fathers that don't put it hard like to your kids. They make it easier for us. So, and we have great uncles. We really do. All the way around. We do.
The way around.
We really do.
We do.
There's Uncle France, real quick for those who.
On the left.
Well,
Danita, give me a call.
Go ahead, Pete.
No, serious. No, that's a serious thing. I'm doing some consulting. I need looking out for her.
It's Harold's dad's twin that passed.
Harold's. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's Uncle France. Well, boy, Jillian looks just like him.
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Well, I will share a prayer. Pat, is there a song you have in mind?
Oh, it's okay. Just pray right behind it. We're good.
Okay. Let's bow our heads together. Father God, we come before you, first of all, thanking you that we had this opportunity, this time that we can come together and just lift you up. Even in our conversations, in our fun times and in our joyous times, we recognize that we have a situation in our family that if we are all suffering, if one suffers, we all suffer. If one hurt, we all hurt. I bring before you my auntie. I bring before you my cousins. I bring before you his grandchildren. I bring before you his great-grand. And we ask, Lord, in a special way that as he is there, laying there, alert, that your Holy Spirit will be there and to just guide his mind, touch him. And as my aunt is there with him and the doctors were there, we ask, Lord, that you will do what you do best. We want more time, but we yield our wants to you. There's an old song that says the great physician now is near, the sympathizing Jesus. So what we do know is that you understand my auntie, you understand my cousins, you understand our family, that you sympathize with us. We also pray for Harold, who lost his uncle, and for so many on who are dealing with grief. Today, we are asking you to put your hands on him even now, and we'll be careful to do the be with us and bless us, strengthen us and guide us, guard us and hold us in the palm of your hand. Before we even close, Lorraine Blake, who's on, will be having surgery in a couple of days. God, we ask you that you be that great physician right there with her. Now bless us, and may we enjoy this rest in the Sabbath. May we celebrate it in you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, didn't